Hello, my most amazing artists. Welcome to our second art lesson. So for today, we need to start with our art mantra, so let's get started. Put your hands on your heart. Say my mantra. I am positive, I am creative, I am mindful, I am amazing, I am an artist. Can't wait to see what you create today. Hey third graders, to start this part 2 of our animal drawing project, the first thing you need to do is make sure you've already drawn your animal and trace with Sharpie. All of that can be found on Power School if you haven't done that yet. Next, I planned out my tertiary colors. So you can see I have all 6 tertiary colors listed, and I decided where I was going to put those colors. With my oil pastels, I'm only going to be coloring with the primary colors. To create tertiary colors, you mix a primary with a secondary color. So again, with my oil pastels, I'm going to color the whole thing with my primary colors. To start out, I decided in my plan that I was going to do blue-green and yellow-green leaves. So I'm going to be coloring my leaves blue and yellow. I've colored in about half my leaves blue, and now I'm starting to color them in yellow. But notice when I'm coloring really lightly. I want some of the white paper to show through, so use light pressure and don't push down hard with your oil pastel. This is very important for the painting portion of your project to work. Now that my yellow and blue leaves are all lightly colored in, I'm starting to use my red oil pastel for the background color to later be created to be red violet. Again, don't push too hard with your oil pastel. Really lightly. Let some of that white paper show through. I'm kind of scribbling in those spaces. You can see as I've been coloring, there's still a lot of the white paper showing through. I'm coloring really lightly with my oil pastels. After I finish coloring my background, I'm looking at my planning sheet and I'm doing blue-violet for the darker parts of my panda. So that means I'm using my primary color blue and lightly coloring in my dark parts of my panda blue. As I was coloring the dark parts of my panda in blue, I realized I wanted to fill in my panda's eyes with my black Sharpie to make them stand out a little bit more. So you can always go back on steps if you realize things later on. Next, I'm looking at my yellow-orange color will be my light parts of my panda. And my gray parts of my panda are going to be red-orange. So you'll see I don't color in everything yellow. I want to leave some parts to be colored in with my red oil pastel. Remember, I'm only using the primary colors right now for my oil pastel part of my coloring, and you will do the same thing. For my final tertiary color, my red-orange, I'm using my red oil pastel, and I'm filling in some of those areas that I would normally have be gray on my panda. I also went into some of those blue areas too and used some of my red because there were some gray spots in those spaces as well. Now that it's all colored in with oil pastels, I'm looking at my planning sheet and I'm starting my secondary colors. I'm going to be using paint to paint over top of my oil pastels. I'm using my secondary color green on my leaves to create the tertiary color yellow-green and blue-green so that we can get 2 out of the 6 tertiary colors covered in this project. Once I finish painting my secondary color green on top of my yellow and blue, I'm looking at my planning sheet and I'm going to do red violet in the background. So that means I need to use my violet or purple color over top of my red to get the tertiary color red violet. So far I have created red violet, I've created yellow green, I've created blue green. So 3 of the tertiary colors I have created so far in my painting. As I'm looking at my planning sheet, I see that next I have blue violet for my darker parts of my panda. So I'm going to use my violet or my purple and I'm going to paint over top of the blue to get my blue violet color. For the lighter part of my panda, I'm going to be using yellow-orange. So I've already put the yellow primary color down. I'm going to paint on my secondary color orange on all of the yellow sections. Finally, I'm painting my last tertiary color. So on top of my red, I'm also using the secondary color orange to create my last tertiary color, red-orange. And there you have it. I used all 6 of my tertiary colors. I can't wait to see how your colorful animals turn out.